I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Now when a girl walks in with an itty.
It is now time for head coach Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. Coach, good morning. Do you like your new intro music?
That's my walk-up song, man. I tell you what, it flows. You know, I'm a big Sir Mix-a-Lot fan.
Yeah, we were in your office. We were not hearing some of this, but then we heard you like big backs in the press conference.
That's right. And I did. I caught myself. And, you know, look, hey, that was college for me, man. When Sir Mix-a-Lot was tearing up the charts with that song, that was college for me. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with the big butts, you know?
Let's talk a little bit earlier than college, Coach. So you grew up, you talked about it before, you grew up with your dad coaching for the Browns and obviously had two really tough games against the Broncos in the AFC title. Was Denver just like the most hated football team for you growing up?
You know, I don't think so. I think it was definitely back-to-back years. You go 86 the drive, 87 the fumble, and you just talk about, you know, devastation for the Cleveland community, the Browns, ownership, the coaches, the players. But I loved John Elway kind of growing up, man. I wanted to be John Elway.
God.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the arm talent, you know, that John did.
Or the athleticism. I mean, you know.
You wanted to be an overrated quarterback. That's what you wanted to be.
What did you have? What did you have of John Elway, Coach?
I had a good cadence. I had a good cadence, guys. I could
Good cadence. There we go.
A matter of fact, hey, hold on. National championship game in 1996. Florida Gators, national champion. Let's go Gators. I actually drew. Spurrier put me in the game late. We were up big. We were up 55-10, whatever. Spurrier put me in the game, and I drew Peter Boulware offsides. Hell yeah, I did.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wait. Hey, let me finish real quick. And then the next play, I fumbled the snap. It wasn't my fault. And I was like, you know, oh, this is embarrassing. You know, national championship game, I fumbled the snap. And our center was a freshman. He goes, Shotty, you're a senior. Will you tell Coach Spurrier it's your fault? I'm like, yeah, man, I got you. And sure enough, Spurrier benches me. Spurrier sends in the next quarterback for me. I'm like, yeah, it's brutal. It was brutal. So you can tell it still bothers me to this day.
Shotty, I've always wondered this because every time a team plays a game in Denver or a college football game like in Utah or whatever, the altitude comes up. Scale of 1 to 10, like how much of a factor is the altitude, or is that something we make too much of?
You know, I think it goes both ways. I think there is an impact. How much it is, I mean, look, unless you're going to move out there for a couple weeks and try to get acclimated, which no one's going to do, I mean, it's part of what you do. The big thing you do is you focus on hydration. You focus on the things you can control. And, you know, there's oxygen out there for all the guys. And but, again, I think it does. I mean, it does play a little bit of a factor. It helps in the kicking game for sure. You know, everybody thinks Brandon Aubrey should kick a 90-yard field goal this game. And maybe we'll try it, maybe we won't. But, you know, it definitely does have a little bit of an impact. But I do think you can get too overwhelmed with it, and we're not trying to do that.
Brian Schottenheimer right here on The Fan. The guys gave you some credit this week for the energy boost you gave in the defensive meeting room last week. Maris Leofau quoted you, and I want you to explain for us and our listeners what this means. Maris said that you always say the answer is in the mirror. What does that mean?
Well, I think it starts with yourself, man. I mean, again, this is the ultimate team game, but when you're building a team, you're building a culture, you're trying to build a Super Bowl World Championship caliber team. After every game you play, you get a report card. We do. After every game, we'll get a report card after Denver. We got one after the Jets, and so on and so on. But if you don't start by looking at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what can I do better to help this football team improve? And that's after a win or a loss, guys, or shoot, in our case, a tie. I mean, you literally have to start with yourself, and it's amazing how many times I've literally been brushing my teeth either in the morning or at night and been like, you know, hey, we need to do this, or, hey, I need to be better at that. And so that's all it means. And when you've got a team of, 69 guys and then, 20 coaches, whatever it is, I mean, there's a lot of answers that you can come up with when you start by leading yourself.
Coach, last week you guys said, Eberflus said it yesterday, that the matchup dictated more man. Do the analytics show one way or another that Bo Nix is better against man or zone this week?
Well, why would I answer that question when you know this is a show? I'm sure Sean Payton's in his office right now with his notebook open, making notes with what you guys are talking about, and listening to us talk about big butts and me fumbling fast in the national championship game. But hey, look, you talk about Bo Nix. The guy's an incredible young quarterback. But really, the worst part about me going up against a Bo Nix-led team is I played against his dad in college, so that just means I'm old. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I liked a little bit of yeah. So his dad Patrick was the quarterback at Auburn when I was at Florida. Now his dad played and I didn't. So let's leave it at that.
So, Coach, what did you think? What was your evaluation of Bo coming out of college? He had kind of an up and down college career. It was a tale of two careers, really. And how has he played? And has it played the way you expected him to in the National Football League?
Well, first of all, we're a big Auburn family, and most of my family has gone through Auburn. I don't know how that happened, being a Gator, but so we're big Auburn people. That game's usually on the TV at our house somewhere. But again, I think he's part of the new generation of quarterbacks, guys. When you look at with the transfer portal and stuff like that, I think he had something like 60-something career starts or something like that, and I think. It was definitely up and down. I think he found his groove at Oregon more so than Auburn, although he did some good things at Auburn. But the athleticism and the quick twitch and the ability to extend plays, that's always been there. I think I heard Flus say the other day in the defensive meeting, I think he's got 6 fourth-quarter comebacks already in his career, which tells you that there's poise, there's confidence. He's got some really good weapons. I mean, Cortland Sutton's a guy that we're very impressed with watching him on film, and Evan Ingram's a guy that's been around a long time. He's a true weapon. But to answer the question, I really like Bo coming out. But again, he is really developing into a fine player at a very young age.
Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Coach, across the NFL this season, there have been 6 drives that have begun in the final minute of the first half and they ended in a touchdown. So your team has half of those, including one last week. What is it about your offense that makes it particularly difficult for teams to defend in those situations where you're kind of up against the clock at the end of the first half?
Well, I think it starts, and ends with really the players. I mean, I think, you got a quarterback in Dak that's extremely confident and comfortable in what we're trying to do from a 2-minute attack. You've got elite weapons across the board with, CD and George and Ferg and Turp and guys like that. And then, again, the guy that doesn't get enough credit is Javonte Williams ripping off 50 and 60-yard runs at the end of, 2-minute drives. And also, I think, guys, we literally practice this every day. Not even at full speed, because it's hard to practice at full speed every day. But we do 2-minute and game management stuff every day. And matter of fact, today is the day that Ryan Feeder gets up in front of the team and takes them through some of the things that he and I have already watched this morning. And I just think there's a comfort level with what we're trying to do in those situations, and it shows with our ability to do it. What'd you say? Half the time, 3 of 6 or whatever it is. It goes back to confidence and preparation.
Coach, what's your philosophy? It seems like in these games in the first half, you guys will try and draw the defense off sides and use a timeout, and you have no problem using the timeout. Is your philosophy that first half timeouts, you're just willing to use them a little bit more liberally than you would in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to burn timeouts, but yeah, it's like when you get into a short yardage 4th and 1 and, stranger things have happened, people have jumped off sides, but there's a clear distinction between when you would use your timeouts in the first half compared to the second half. In the second half, man, they are like the golden ticket, man. Like, you don't want to give them up because you never know when you're going to need them. Whereas in the first half, you're a little bit more, not casual, that's not the word, but choose the right time to use them and try them. And again, it hasn't worked for us yet, but you never know when it does. And it's definitely a big distinction between first and second half.
Coach, Denver has the most prolific pass rush in the league by the numbers, and one of the more successful lobbying campaigns, I guess, from the analytics community over the last decade has been getting a lot of fans to say that sacks are largely a quarterback stat. How do you believe in that concept, or what are your thoughts on that concept of sacks generally being a quarterback stat?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I think, I don't know if I agree with that. I think, there's so many things that go into sacks, and, I think, when we talk about pass protection as a unit, offensively, of course, we talk about, look at, the offensive line or the running backs are the ones that generally get credit for giving up the sack, when in reality there's so many things that are in play. The quarterback holding on to the ball too long, the quarterback not trusting his read, receivers not getting open, there's different things. So what I will say is this. I think one of the reasons why we are so efficient right now on offense and scoring so many points is we are not giving up sacks. I know, Tom Moore, longtime legendary NFL offensive coordinator, man, he used to always talk about, there was a number that was like 7%. And if you give up a sack, there's like a 7% chance of scoring touchdowns. And I think that's real, man, because of momentum and the defense feeds off it. And this is an outstanding pass rush group, led by Nick Bonita and, Jonathan Cooper and DJ Jones and guys like that. Very, very talented. And shoot, they led the league last year in sacks, and I think they got 34 right now.
Coach, Vance Joseph is the defensive coordinator there in Denver, and that's somebody you spent a couple years having chess matches with him in the NFC West. When you were with Seattle, he was with Arizona. What stands out about the way he kind of does things on defense?
There's a style. I think it starts with the front that they play. They want to play the 3-4 style of front, and they want to get their edge pieces really, really wide. That means they're going to contain everything. Like, they basically line up out wider than the widest, which means if we've got a 2 tight end set and we're in a pair set over here to the right, the Sam linebacker, Jonathan Cooper, is going to be outside of the pair set tight end. And why is that? It's to contain things. And so, they try to contain everything. They force everything back inside to the linebackers and the safeties and things like that. That's why you saw them go out and pay Hufanga, from San Francisco to add him. And then again, I think, the other thing that you look at with these guys, man, is they're built to – with they play 3-4. So compare Carolina to Denver. Very, very different. Maybe a good thing for us since we got our butts whipped by Carolina. But Carolina's more of a 2-gap read and react, and this team is a 3-4 attacking, because what they want to do is they want to knock the guards and centers back with Allen and DJ Jones and those guys into the pass rushers, Cooper and Bonita. And so very, very different, but it's what he's always done. And then third down, they're outstanding. I think they're first in the league in third down. They're forcing a ton of third and longs, and they're first in the league in red zone. So statistically, they're one of the best defenses in the league, and the film proves that as well.
Brian Schottenheimer joined us here, 105 through the Fan. I haven't picked up on a trend on whether y'all always are going to, take the ball or kick, whether you win the coin toss or not. But when do you decide that during the week? What goes into that decision on whether to kick or receive?
There's a lot of things that go into it. We normally kind of decide it around today, tomorrow. A lot of factors that come into play. It's, okay, how do we feel about the openers? How do we feel about the team we're playing? Are there other things, wind or, sun that that affect your decision making? And there's a bunch of those things that come into play. And again, I'm probably by nature more of a defer guy. I think, getting that extra possession at the start of the second half is important. But as we've proven, there's different reasons to do different things.
Coach, Trayvon Diggs, Donovan Wilson both have not practiced yet this week. Tyler Guyton popped up on the injury report yesterday. How are things looking for those guys?
Again, we'll find out more today. Today's the final dress rehearsal. Again, it looks like, I don't think Trayvon will be able to make it, but we'll find out about the other couple guys. And again, we got a lot of guys that we need to see today, and it's that time of year, man. You're right into that game where I was literally thinking about this the other day. We're really 7.5 games in, because of the 2 overtime games that we've taken full time. So again, we're definitely not beat up. We're getting healthier, but we definitely got some guys that we need to see perform today.
And last one for you here, Coach. As you approach your first trade deadline, how do you expect to contribute in those conversations? Is it like an agenda item in team meetings or something where you just say, I need to go approach them with just some thoughts? How do you expect to handle that?
No, I think there's just, there's daily communication between myself and Jerry and Steven and Will McClay. And, Will's in all of our team meetings, and he and I have a great relationship. We're always talking about different things. And, again, my focus is on beating the Broncos and helping these guys be prepared as they can be. And they're doing a great job monitoring all those situations. But the daily conversations that come up, we discuss a lot of different things. And certainly roster construction and management is part of that. But it makes it easy when you do it all year long and you don't just do it, okay, hey, we're a week or so away from a trade deadline. Now let's sit in a room and have conversations.
Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate the Radio Gold as always. Have a good trip and good luck on Sunday.
Okay, guys, always enjoy it. Thanks so much.
Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys.